can do that. Alright, let's go and ensure that we don't get bamboozled by Fulanis. You want to give me this land? Of course you don't. It's never that simple. But since you're putting up a fight, I think I'm going to want a lot more out of you. There we go. Jenny's down. And that's just about enough to get everything that I want. I can sacrifice a few ducats in order to speed up the old peace deal thing. I guess the war reparations aren't quite as important as punching all that dosh out of you. There we go. I get the 2 provinces I want, and truthfully I don't want more. Katsina and Kong are pathetic allies. It's good for me that they hold on to them, and their cores on me are meaningless. So just give me those 2 that I want. I did not check aggressive expansion. I should have checked aggressive expansion. Let's just check it here. The thing is, all these guys don't know about me and I don't know about them, so there's no problem there. Kong and Timbuktu will stop hating me in due time, but I have to make sure that there's no possible lineup of them joining a coalition with the others against me. Still, good job on that. Get over to Futa, everybody. These 2 provinces are sadly a bit devastated, however. This is a full state for me, so we shall get there we go. Let's just make it official. Dio and Jojo. So who's everyone's favorite Jojo? I like to go with the original Joestar personally. There's something so elegant about him. There was a fighting game that I really wanted to play, but I don't think it's available for Filthy Gaijin. At least not from what I've seen. Yeah, my adventures are plenty bizarre, thank you. Excellent! We are actually able to rise above being a duchy and are now a kingdom, maxing out that prestige and getting extra states. That's wait, we do get extra states, right? Phew! And that would have been pretty horrible if we did not. Right, everyone's getting involved here in time. These guys take ages to get over here for some reason. Yeah, no problems here. You know what? Elghorn should fight. He'll probably die in this fight, but that would be all the more hilarious. Elghorn has done so much for our nation. Surely one last send-off by beating down some Fulanis. They rolled good, but they didn't fly so good. Just consolidate up with, frankly, everything. Now what, though? These provinces are pretty fantastic and are probably going to rebel under me. Although, Jojo, I bought this for the intense amount of manpower, so I have no problem giving it to the emirs. It's actually pretty good if I do that, because look at that manpower. 92, I disagree. 603 is what it's all about. And Dio is nothing particularly special, but it's still nice to have. This also has an emporium, but I didn't really come here for the trade. Came here for that sweet manpower. But what I could also do is give this to another estate. I don't mind handing it over to the Dhimmi, and then punching up the autonomy on both of them, and then just patting myself on the back for a job well done. Let's get over to Gabu and get back to an area of the world that we care about. Also, Timbuktu need to die, so let's claim these lands as vital interest, and hopefully our subject will make some claims. Also, we finally got ourselves a 3rd diplomat. Happy days. Reinforcement speed is good. The next techs are not that important. 10, 11 are meh. 12 is huge, though. Still, let us enjoy some tech. Some ideas, rather. Something fighting games. I didn't care much about fighting games until I played Street Fighter 2 and discovered that I'm God's gift to the genre. Never would have seen that coming. Right, they actually ruined my my perfectly good lack of devastation here. Horrifying stuff. Undo that. The Milanis wish to rise up in Bur, actually. I don't like that, and I don't want to give it autonomy. Oh right, they're angry because I decreased their autonomy. That's a bit of a bummer right there. I think my march can handle it, but there's no guarantee. Elkhorn and Mercs, go and help them out and get back here. Except it's not Elkhorn. I don't want Elkhorn to die in battle because he'll cost me 2 stab for it. Get my Mercs involved so I don't have to worry too much about manpower losses. And then laugh our way to the bank. Also, got ourselves a nice, a really nice trait actually for our conquistador. That's happy days. Okay, I've got a lot more options for setting my rivals. Denmark, of course. I should probably grab one. Aragon seems splendid. I know they hate me. Frankly, I don't like them right now. They are astonishingly not winning this war as well as I want them to. I have permanent claims on both Castile and Aragon, no big deal there. I'm about to grab another one, a regular claim on Portugal. And yes, it's 3 years until I crack open a can of whoop-ass on Portugal, so I should be ready for that. That includes no worrying about revolts. If Bur does rise up, Futayalon will have to be there for me. However, when I fight Portugal, they will likely still dominate on the seas. If I look at navies from rivals, Portugal still has 4 heavy ships. If I'm going to compete with that, I'm going to need some heavy ships of my own. Wait, they had more than just that, didn't they? Yeah, a bit more, but still. I hate to buy such crappy ships at such insane costs, but if I want to compete with them, and I do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's painful, and I don't like being above my naval force limit here, but needs must, and we must need. Finally, Elkhorn is dead. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Elkhorn did a whole lot for our nation. And now Haramir stands mighty. But we now have ourselves a new heir. It's Muhammad. I think we should frankly celebrate the fact that we have a good bit of strength in the dynasty. And what better way is there to have some swimming lessons for Muhammad? So let's have them paddling out into the coast of Morocco. And oh, they didn't make it. Well, that's a shame. It's a goddamn shame, isn't it? These decisions are pretty swell, especially Islamic schools, scholarly learning. Let's keep it going, and let's finally get some really good increase in monarch points. Look, we have to drown Muhammad so that we can profit on monarch points. Also, the Ottomans, I pretty much forgot you were my ally because you were sitting there so quietly for a while. Probably a good idea not to forget that, and also not to forget that them and Mamluks have been very good not being at each other's throats. We shall score that marriage. Probably good to do that with all of our allies, even if it's a bit costly on legitimacy, including the Mamluks. Good to keep those alliances going strong. And there's no real need for me to get this right now. The institutions are still spreading quite nicely. And what do we want? Let us elect the foremost and most loyal individual to a position. Religious establishment. Events relating to our religious scholars. Tolerance to true faith and corruption. Oh, but I could do with legitimacy at this point. Sufism. We don't even have that much true faith land to think about, but I straight up win on money if I go for corruption. Yeah, and plus, I quite like legalism. Keeps those everything costs low. This is why I love Jake's streams, says NASCAR Gestapo. Cold, calculated, and absolutely brutal. Oh, glad you enjoy them. I mean, I do them for my enjoyment, first and foremost, as cocksure as that might seem. But it's working out for me. Still a bit of devastation here, which is horrifying. What you gonna do? I'm concerned, deeply concerned about those French relations. I have to keep them high, but there's a limit to how high I can get them. Let's keep them, the Ottomans, happy. At least Tunis are glued to me. Let's keep it that way. And the Grenada and Niger is looking okay. Hey, my colony will be done soon as well. Look at that, 754 settlers there. Bahmanes getting destroyed by Vijayanagar's facts and logic. I mean, Vijayanagar have their back to the wall. The natural advantage is theirs. If Aragon don't grab a single fort off of Castile, they're not going to win the war. They won't have the... they won't be able to take anything in the war, which is the most tragic thing. I feel like getting a wee spy network on you just so I can have some claims to give to my subject. Oh, Jolof claimed Arguim. I don't particularly care about Portugal's expansion. They probably have land down here. I'd be surprised if they aren't already eyeing up the Far East. But my point is to expel them out of Iberia. So if they go and live a successful life over in the Far East, all the happier for them, but they need to get out of my home. I just joined. Any thoughts about declaring war in Iberia now that there's a war going on? I'm truce locked with all 3 of the Iberians, but Portugal is on the chopping block in 3 years. So it's pretty much just preparing for war there. As long as they don't make any friends, I should be able to stroll in and slaughter them from their own capital. However, they will have dominance of the seas. So I gotta think about what I'm doing there. I should also consider, since aggressive expansion is going to be the main kicker, taking from them Madeira and the Azores. Azores will give me much needed range over here. The pathetic land I'm taking down here will expand my range to this, but just think what the range could be from here for the north. I want that new world because I need land to expel these disgusting Iberians to. If you're taking offense from what I'm saying, you're clearly missing the entire point and narrative of these streams, so I have no hesitation in telling you that the fault is with you, not me. And I'm not even sorry for that. It's a problem that we have quite a bit with Turks when they watch these streams. Occasionally my heart is warmed because I find oh no, Killer DJ's dead. They did serve us faithfully and well, but I was hoping to use them for the next round of exploring. Is expelling the Iberians from the New World part of your campaign goal as well? To the New World. I mean, I've done plenty of cultural enrichment campaigns, but this one, it's more about getting them out. I don't want to draw any real-life comparisons here, but basically, they're free to exist, just not in my home. All is pretty well. Those Malians in Bure are still a bit of a concern. However, my army is good and ready. There's not really much point to me paying them a whole lot. I can save up some dosh. And I could also consider if there are any buildings worth building here. Especially on those delicious sugary provinces. And yeah. Yeah, cloth is pretty delicious as well. Mosque in... oh yeah, some of these mosques are worth the good money. I want a barracks in... oh, I didn't think I would want one in Granada, but it appears that I do. I truly wanted one over in Dio, but Dio is being cored right now. I should hesitate a bit about spending all my money here. But we make good dosh anyway. And I'm sure I can eventually punch the merchant guilds for more money. Oh, well. Mossy ivory carvings. Due to the long time that many of our merchant families are spending in mossy communities, especially the people of Upper Volta. Mossy. But I swear... maybe I'm reading that wrong. I'm pretty sure like mossy is here, right? But Well, what do I know? Upper Volta. Is the game just playing with me now? Mossy is a culture, Jake. I'm pretty sure it was a country around here. Oh well. The point is, people have begun to market ivory carvings from the area in Agadir. This is an enterprise that's rapidly making both them and the locals very rich. Why would I cheese anybody off? Fashion may be fickle, sure, but I do like having money. Songhai would benefit from this. But me and Songhai are tight, and the merchant guilds would finally be not quite so unhappy, so I'm taking it. Awfully nice of you not to have backstabbed Tunis, or do you have a plan for them? Yes, I have a devilish plan. Tunis are going to be my ally, and I will not fight them, and we will have a lovely, fruitful relationship. Tunis saw me through some pretty brutal times, so I'm not about to tread on their heels here. Shame about that revolt. I did not want that revolt, but there are lots of things that we have to live with, despite not wanting them. Grab the mercs, shove some other people with them. Boom. Give them Mr. Sad and tell them to get over there. It's a nice thing about having the boats. The freedom to move around here is super important. Still 3 years until Portugal have to die. And they have to die. I strongly believe that just taking Porto and Algarve is going to be enough to make France hate my guts. So I should make a claim on Madeira next. Tenerife's another option. Hell, it's not an option, but Cape Verde is right there. They're still tired of war. I'm afraid you don't get to decide these things. And the fortification expert, well, actually it's going to be very useful for me to, if you... Oh, no. Half price, fort defense. I like the sound of that. Make money, money, make. Oh, come on, France. That's just nasty. France have decided that they don't really like me. I am their rival now. And that's bad for a pretty big reason. Their aggressive expansion is going to go sky high no matter what I do. And they're going to coalition me when I eat these people up. So I have to make sure that Iberians are truce locked, and France is about the only one that gets coalition-y on me. Brittany don't like me. Well, that is a shame. Charles Martel is coming for you now, says NASCAR. I think I will survive. I got a lot of survivability. Let's go and take care of these scumbags. You know, these lands would be a lot easier to manage if they were glorious Sunni. This is going to cost me 30 ducats. I'll just make it happen. And also, the Malians are about to rise up. It's kind of good for me that they do. Oh, man, Mohammed, please. Mohammed and Yusuf, about the only names that we're going to get around here. That's just not good enough, though, Mohammed. I think it's time for more swimming lessons. Alright, this being what it is, how big a revolt are we talking here? Malians 22,000. I only have 10,000 down there. Alright lads, get down to Gabu. There are the Kabus of Gabu that wish to rise up as well, but I'm totally not concerned about them, so I'm just going to give them autonomy. I don't care about that province at all. Castilians, no big deal. There will be blood. Tio is going to attack Yaka in a war of vengeance because they're so malevolent. I respect that. I have a huge amount of respect for what Tio is doing. And I'm pretty happy with that. Hey, tell you what, Ottomans, did you ever get colonialism? You didn't. Well, It just so happens that I have an offer for you. Ottomans would end up with monthly debt. Mamluks, it just so happens... Oh, damn. They already have it? Oh, I never embraced it. Well, isn't that embarrassing? I need to embrace it if I'm going to be able to do that. However, I bet the Mamluks could offer us big dosh for that, so it's probably worth the expense. It's growing, sure, but not lightning fast. I'll just take the cost to embrace it, and then make the Mamluks pay. Oh yeah, outside of my coring cost, colonial range. How far outside my colonial range? Wait, what? You sure about that game? Well, would anybody pay me for all this? Well, damn, that is a shame. I wonder if anybody is up for this. 0 countries will probably accept. I mean, England could probably offer me good money on it, but they're not having any of it either. What if we were allied, though? I bet they'd be interested then. I was already improving relations. I should probably get back to it. Yeah, it's probably range to their capital, and colonial range is not my forte, sadly. Well, since I did that, I should consider tacking up a bit. I should also be a bit sad about this lack of dosh, but it's probably reinforcing my army. Yeah, because I sent in the mercs for that. When they're not doing that, I make perfectly decent money. Still a couple of years before Portugal are going to die and fry. And yes, I think it's prudent for me to start taking these kinds of provinces. Are the institution spread edicts still on? Nope. Why would they be on? No big point for that right now. Futa's still a possible state for me, but I will pass that one by. Of course, there are other things that I could take. I haven't been using many holy orders, but they certainly have good advantages because they can boost development considerably in these provinces. But they would also take me towards mysticism, which, yeah. I love the irony of 63 gold after having 1600 gold and a long speech on frugality, says Pit Dare. Listen, important investments were made here, and we make tons of dosh, which incidentally is my favorite kind of dosh. Okay, those Malians in Bur, Jojo, and Dio are going to cause me problems. I'm going to have my army stationed in Bur because it just makes sense that way. It's hills, so it's the best place to instantly jump on them so they don't get in the way of anything I'm doing here. Still coring these lands though. Come on, hurry it up a touch. Man, TBW, never missing a beat, just mad because the only feature his country got was mud. Yeah, the attrition here is not of concern for me. Jojo and Dio all cored up. Excellent. Now this is a case where I really do want to use a holy order because it's very swiftly going to increase the gold that we have flowing in. It's 50 dip, and I'm pretty tight on dip, but I see very little reason not to just go with it. Very little reason. There we go. I guess conversion is going to be a bit of a pain if I do want to convert these fetishist provinces, but I'm a very accepting individual. Why not move your capital back to Granada? I'm kind of locked here in Africa because most of my development is there. Legalism. Oh, shifting right back to it, as I anticipated. So the Malis will rise up real soon. I am ready for them, and then we get back to crushing Portugal, and then everything will be correct in the world. I think I will take this and then give it to Jolof, who I'm still not going to marry, because I'm just abusive like that. Hey, I could knowledge share with them. I could pay off their debt as well. I don't think I want to do... Well, no, it's probably worth my time giving them colonialism. Because the better they keep up with tech, the better. Let's grant them Galam claim. And I guess I don't really need more claims on you. Yeah, forget that. I need my diplomats to be spry and ready. Also good to know that my subject has claims on Portugal as well, so I could hand them over there. Right, income's going to take a bit of a dive because our ships are complete. And they're also over force limits, so they're costing us more than they really should. Alright, we got our boats ready. Let's put them into Sally. Seems like a fitting place to house our navy. Making loads more money now because I finished all those very nice buildings. And I'm going to not mothball you, because if I do, I'm just going to forget about your existence. This is getting dangerous. I need my units in position, so these Malians better rise up real soon. I would send my my missionary there, but he's busy. Kind of aggressive expansion are you planning? As much as I can get away with. Timbuktu are claiming my land, but I don't afraid of them. Gonna stick a missionary here and not pay for him. Actually, it's a good opportunity for me to convert these lands. I don't particularly like having these wrong religion lands on my gold provinces. And since they're about to revolt, it's quite likely that we won't have any issues with them for a wee bit. However, I do need them to revolt. 14% chance every month is pretty good in my book. Exploration defensive, do we have another idea group yet? Not yet, but we're getting there. We are getting there. Could be ahead of the curve here for once. I might want that admin power for coring. In fact, I know I'm going to need that admin for coring. But it's kind of nice to get this bonus and be able to start thinking about more ideas. And I'm thinking it's got to be expansion. We need to know more about that new world and take it all for ourselves. Church of England found a new state church. Welcome out. Oh, wow. Watercolor. Envoy travel time's quite nice. Expelling people is going to be pretty important to what I want to do here. Goodbye money. Ooh, that's a bad goodbye money to have, but goodbye nonetheless. My stability is a bit awful. Don't like having it at 0 when it could be not 0. Okay, it's kind of funny, haha, that these revolts aren't happening, but I really need to strike against Portugal next year. I just saw Aragon shatter retreating, Jake. Things aren't going well. Also, Barcelona fell. Yeah, this is a problem. A considerable problem. Castile are no longer bankrupt. They still have Naples under their... Neapolitan pretender rebels. They won't keep Naples unless they really spring back. And since they have total occupation, as soon as they peace out, those pretenders are going to enforce. Castile have lost Naples, but they're probably going to keep Aragon. This is bad. I want them at each other's throats, and since Aragon's going to lose this war, they're not going to be so rebellious. On the flip side, it means only one nation's aggressive expansion to care about, not two, so there's swings and roundabouts here. Strange phrase that, isn't it? Swings and roundabouts. What could it mean? Right, I desperately need to tech up in dip because the unbalanced research is costing me considerably. There we go. Just by doing that, I root out far less corruption. And I want more. Thankfully you have 6 dip. I was going to focus on dip, but that shouldn't be necessary now. Come on, Boer. Time to flip. Also, I want to convert KR